The Lakers are in the news once more, except it's a little bit more on the positive side. And it's not Austin Reeves and it's not Anthony Davis not making or being at games. It's the return of LeBron James, who came back today against the Chicago Bulls, but unfortunately fell short and they end up losing. But the narratives prior to the game, once LeBron James was deemed active or available for tonight, were, y'all don't want to see the Lakers in the first round. Oh, with Bronny coming back, with Bron coming back, y'all don't want to see the Lakers in the playoffs. And we saw tweets and reports and all these different people saying if LeBron James could get into a groove as the season closes out, the Lakers are going to go to the finals. So, Kyle, with you as a lifelong Laker fan, and you see this narrative and how good this team is playing, what validity do you think that that statement is?
I think it's like zeros and none. Don't get me wrong. I'm definitely excited about the fact that the Lakers have been playing really well of late. But let's pump the brakes when it comes on the Lakers are going to the finals just because they've been winning basketball games and now LeBron James is coming back from his foot injury. I don't have time for it. It's just nonsense. Honestly, I think it's just people just trying to stir up something just to say something. That's it. So overall, when it comes to the Lakers, they have been relatively solid over the last couple of weeks. I think obviously when LeBron was out, it put a huge emphasis on the guys that they had at the fold. And we saw guys like Anthony Davis step up where he was dropping 30, 35-point performances. Austin Reeves was putting up huge minutes, getting at least 20, 25. He dropped over 30 points the other day. And, on top of that, you got guys like Dennis Schroeder stepping up. You got guys like Malik Beasley stepping up, hitting some critical threes. But one of the things that I was paying attention to, okay, you have LeBron coming back into the fold, coming back from this foot injury. How would he be inserted into the lineup and how would he mesh based on the time that he's missed? And when it comes to the Bulls have been an up and down team this year. They're playing for a play-in tournament situation in the Eastern Conference. And defensively, they just fell short. And when I look at the Lakers over the last couple of games, they've played somewhat decent defense, but when LeBron's on the court, you never really know how defensively the Lakers are going to play. It could be pretty solid, and then there are times where they can give up 120, 130 points. So it's kind of a mixed bag when you look at the Lakers defensively. But I like the fact that throughout the time that LeBron was gone, that essentially the guys on the roster, they were meshing really well. The chemistry looked pretty solid. It's just injuries have just been a constant issue with the Lakers this year. LeBron has missed time. D'Angelo Russell has missed time. Anthony Davis has missed time. It's just, you've never really seen the Lakers at a point where they've been fully healthy and them hit a huge stride. It's just, with LeBron coming back into the fold and there being about 8 to 9 games left, is that team going to be able to keep the chemistry on point where you have guys like Dennis Schroeder putting up 20 points in 35 minutes? You have Anthony Davis putting up 30 and 15 for 35 to 40 minutes a game. Can LeBron James overcome this foot issue? Because there was a possibility that he should have gotten foot surgery. He even said in his post-game press conference that there were 2 doctors telling him that he needed season-ending foot surgery, but he decided against it. Are all these factors going to come together for the Lakers if they even make the play-in tournament situation? There's no guarantee that just because the Lakers have been playing good of late, that they're guaranteed a playoff spot. As of right now, they're in the 9th position in the Western Conference, but we've talked about this time and time again. This Western Conference is so log-jammed towards essentially the middle of the pack of the conference. If you go on a 2-3 game skid, you can go from potentially like the 6th or 7th seed all the way down to the 12th. It really wouldn't take that much. So as much faith as I have the Lakers in making a play-in tournament situation, which is, I would say, growing in optimism at this point, I think they have a very good chance to make the play-in tournament situation. Nothing's guaranteed. And nothing's guaranteed about them missing the play-in tournament entirely and going into the playoffs. That could totally happen too. But this idea that the Lakers are going to the finals, or that Lakers fans should be giddy about the potential of the Lakers going past teams like the Nuggets, the Grizzlies, the Suns, and potentially the Kings to get to not only the Western Conference Finals, but the NBA Finals. I think it's just hyperbolic. I think people are just saying something just to stir things up. And honestly, I really don't have the time or patience to deal with it. It's just nonsense as far as I see it. But I am optimistic about where the team is heading. I just have to see how they finish this last stretch of the regular season with LeBron back in the fold. Because essentially, this is a make or break time for the Lakers. And this is where you really put all the chips in the middle of the table. And this is what we're going to see what the Lakers are made of on this final stretch. So overall, I have growing optimism about the Lakers potentially making a play-in tournament situation, but this finals narrative needs to stop. That's not going to happen unless the Lakers literally have Jesus come back from the dead and bless this team to get past all of these Western Conference playoff contenders that are miles better than the Lakers. So outside of that, the Lakers are not making the finals. It's as simple as that.
I would agree with Kyle completely. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like the Lakers are God's given gift. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that LeBron James coming back automatically makes somebody a finals contender. LeBron is not in his 20s. LeBron is not even in his early 30s. We're talking about a 38-year-old who's coming off another injury, who apparently, as Kyle said, he, the player himself, LeBron James, has owned up and admitted to saying he probably shouldn't be playing on this. So I don't know how effective he's going to be moving forward as the season progresses. I don't know how consistent or available he's going to be if they do, in fact, make a postseason run. And by postseason run, I mean a play-in tournament game. And then if they were to win that, a 7-game series against whoever they do, whoever they play against, whether that's the 7th or 8th seed, obviously that's going to be the one of the two. I'm not saying that the Lakers aren't a good team. I'm not saying that they haven't turned it around. I'm not saying that this trade to acquire D'Angelo Russell and all of those other players wasn't a dramatic shift in the balance of whatever it is was going on in that, Lakers locker room. But when you talk about a finals run, when you talk about making it to the pinnacle of the NBA, the last series, the championship round, I'm not saying they don't have the pedigree for it, because we all know that AD has won a chip. LeBron has won several chips. We know that the team, the coaching staff has been a part of a lot of this rebuild in LA since LeBron has gotten there, and some of them even were a part of the championship run that they had in the bubble. But let's stop forcing the narrative. Just because Bron is back, that doesn't mean that the Lakers are destined for greatness. He may actually hinder the run that they're on right now, because they were playing pretty solid without him. Again, outside of that buzzer beater that the Mavs had, they would have been on a 4-game win streak prior to this game. And I'm not saying that they were beating the greatest teams in the world. The hardest team that they beat was Phoenix, but that was also Phoenix without Kevin Durant and DeAndre Ayton. But they barely beat the Magic. They beat the Suns by 11. They barely beat the Thunder, who are also competing for a play-in tournament game. But again, the Lakers are finding their groove, finding their stride, and D'Angelo Russell has kind of been leading that charge. And Anthony Davis has been playing absolutely phenomenal the last couple of days. So I'm not going to go out there and say that the Lakers are scrubs or that they're not going to make the play-in tournament. I have way more faith in the Lakers making it than the Mavericks. But if I had to give it a percentage, I'd say it's probably under 5%, unless they go on some magical run to close out the year and LeBron James musters up whatever youth and athleticism he has left, and he just starts averaging 2016 NBA Finals numbers where it's like 38 and 10. Personally, I don't think it's possible. I don't know if it's going to be something that's even entertainable as the playoffs come closer. Again, for this to happen, the Lakers would have to close out the season by winning every single game. If they were to escape the play-in tournament, they'd have to make a dominant run in that first round, make a statement and an upset. If they make it out the first round, I will then start to entertain the possibility of it, because them making it out of the play-in, for me, is pretty significant in and of itself with how their season has gone. But if they were to somehow make it into the play-in, win that game, get a 7-game series, beat the 1 or the 2 seed, I would then say you have to watch out for the Lakers. But until then, right now, they're still on the bubbles. They're still on the cusp. They have a lot to prove, and they have a lot to show before they even start that conversation.